I began really interested in not only corn as like as a main food staple of the community, but also kind of like understanding what is that intimate relationship between people and corn, because it was very obvious that corn, and not just in within the Wixárika, but in many indigenous communities in Mexico, was is a central in culture and even language, in just like the entire cycle, right? Like people will organize their lives around the cycle of corn so that people can grow. And we're talking about native corn, right? Like corn that has been grown in different communities for many generations. So for a lot of families in Tepic, Nayarit, most of them will begin the cycle of corn early May, I will say, with different ceremonies and different commitments that they have to follow. And again, they will arrange their entire, even if they are working in different places, they will arrange their entire schedule to come to the ceremonial place to begin the cycle of corn. And this will include ceremonies, and then later work in the field, and then cultivation of corn, and then more ceremonies to culminate in October, around October, with the drum ceremony, which is the ceremony that most of the children were explaining, because this is the ceremony of the festivity of celebration of the harvest. And the families will get together to celebrate the new harvest, but also pay tribute or devote their time in the ceremony to most of the ancestors. But I'll say that specifically to our mother corn, right, Tatei Niwetsika, because she was generous enough to gift the community their fruits so that they can continue with this cycle the following year. So in this ceremony of the drum, the families will gather and they will make a lot of offerings, and these offerings will continue to be delivered not only to certain or close by places, but also very important ceremonial places. So they will be taken to most of the place, depending on the family, but they will be taken to all of these places during the pilgrimage. So those two are very interconnected. The ceremonial of the cultivation of corn, the ceremonial practices of cultivation of corn, and also the yearly pilgrimages for families. So in order to also, one of the main claims that I have is that because of corn, right, there is this cycle that assures the relationship between people and the land. Because corn not only offers the fruits for the seeds and the survival of the community as a food staple, but also gives them the different offerings to take to these ceremonial spaces so that they can continue and maintain the relationship with more than human beings. So, for example, nawa or corn-based drink will be produced during the ceremony, so that later the families will save that drink and then take it to the next pilgrimage. So when they begin that yearly pilgrimage, they will take their own offering, and it is corn-based. So that maintains that ongoing reciprocity with not just, right, like the ancestors, but I mean also the land, right? Like people will participate in this pilgrimage and learn from that ceremonial space, but also give back with all of these offerings. Sometimes we'll include art and other foods or different objects that were made by the community. But I think that the offerings made with corn are really essential for this ongoing and reciprocal way of communicating with not only, right, like members of the community, but also more than human beings.